Hello, welcome back to the Brothers Grimdark and another unit focus. Today we're talking about Guardian Defenders. They are my only troops choice I have for my aeldari at the moment, and probably going to remain that way for a little while. But I do have some Rangers and also some Corsairs that may get painted up soon. But for now, we focus on Guardian Defenders. So Guardians are, in my opinion, the bread and butter of an Eldar force. You know, Eldar believe in martial citizenry, and Guardians are the epitome of that. They basically are just regular folks, but because they're Eldar, they are still very good at fighting. They haven't devoted themselves to a martial discipline like the aspect warriors have, but they can still do a job on the battlefield. So Guardian Defenders, you can take them. How many points are they each? Let's do that first. I believe they are 8. Guardian Defenders, yeah. Oh no, they're 9 points each. Storm Guardians are 8 points each, yeah. 9 points each, and for that you get a unit of between 10 and 20. Movement 7, as you expect for Eldar. Weapon skill 3+, plus skill 3+. Strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 7, and a 4-up save. You can also take between 1 and 2 heavy weapons. You can only take the second one if you're up to that big unit of 20. The heavy weapons platform is basically the same across the board, other than it's movement 7, it's plus skill, weapon skill 6+, plus skill 3+, strength 3, toughness 3, 2 wounds, 1 attack, leadership 7, but you do get a 3-up save. So what some people do is they use that weapons platform to kind of tank some hits just because it's got that better save. If you're in cover, that becomes a 2+ save. So that's quite nice and useful. And especially with Iandan, because with your Iandan, you're reducing AP -1, and AP -2 by 0. So if something's shooting at you AP -1, you've essentially got a weapons platform with a 2-up save and cover, which could help just keep more of your Guardians alive than might possibly be. Yeah, with the weapons platform, you can stick, the usual flavor of aeldari heavy weapons on there. I've only painted up the shuriken cannon and the bright lances for mine. I think those are the best 2 options. I think there's an argument for the star cannon as well, if you want that sort of kind of plasma style shooting. If you don't know, basically the shuriken cannon is 3 shots, AP strength 6, AP -1, damage 2. It's got the shuriken keyword, so any 6s to wound become AP -3. The bright lance, which is Eldari's anti-tank weapon, which is pretty good and reliable. Strength 8, AP -4, and 3 plus D3 damage, which is very, very reliable and good. And I believe the star cannon is 2 shots, strength 6, AP -3, damage 2. So it's kind of in that plasma, filling that plasma hole in the Eldari arsenal. What other? Oh yeah, and the regular guys are armed with a shuriken catapult, which is range 18, assault 2, strength 4, AP -1, damage 1, and again it has that shuriken keyword. So any 6s to wound will be AP -3, which can help, especially in a world where Armour of Contempt is a thing, because that AP -1 is now doing nothing. So getting up to AP -3 will at least help a little bit for churning through Marines and things. Yeah, there's no unit leader or anything like that. They come with battle focus, strands of fate. They have the defender's keyword, which is quite nice. Basically, if you're on an objective and you make a ranged attack with a shuriken weapon, you get to reroll once. So it kind of gives you that sort of Captain Autarch aura, but you can kind of go off and do your own thing. You don't need to have your Autarch sitting and babysitting them, which is useful. And crude platform. When the last Guardian Defender model in this unit is destroyed, any remaining heavy weapon platform models in this unit are also destroyed. Heavy weapon platform models are not counted when determining a unit's starting strength or whether that unit is below half strength. The destruction of a heavy weapon platform models is ignored for the purposes of morale tests. So again, that can help as well of keeping your Guardians alive, because they're only leadership 7, so if something is really trying to get you to run away, hint, hint, Night Lords, you can kind of put that damage onto the heavy weapons platform and it doesn't cause them any morale issues. Again, less of an issue with Iandon because they have that bonus to their morale of for what's it called? Combat attrition. They always count as being one less. So if they're above half strength, no extra ones will run away, and if they're below half strength, they only run away in ones, which is quite nice. So that's kind of the Guardian data sheet. As I say, I think they're actually quite good with Iandon. You can just they're still very fragile. You know, they're toughness 3, 4 up, save 1 wound, but it does just mean your opponent has to put a little bit more into them when they're reducing that AP. You know, if you've got them in cover, that's very handy. Having said that, I still generally keep mine behind everything else in my force. I usually have my Wraiths constructs up at the front. You know, Wraith Blades, Wraith Lords, Wraith Guard, sometimes Wraith Seers. And the Iandon are there behind, just trying not get targeted the first 2 turns, and then once things are out in the open, my opponent's kind of got some easier targets out in the open, the Guardians can pop out and combine their firepower to try and take stuff down and move out onto those objectives. As I say, the way I play my Iandon and aeldari is quite slow compared to how a lot of armies are played. Generally there's a lot of transports involved and it's a very quick moving force, but for me, I tend to sit back, slowly march forward with my Wraiths, and then once they're engaged, my opponent's harder hitting units, then the Guardians can come out and start to do their work. I would say the troop section in the aeldari Codex is probably the weakest part of the whole Codex, so it's not really an area that I tend to want to spend a whole lot of points in. So I very rarely run my Guardian Defenders with the heavy weapons platform. I think there is an argument for it, you know, having that Bright Lance just on your regular troops can be quite handy. You know, if you have 3 of those, it maybe means you don't need to take Wraith Lords and things, so it can be a cheap way of including a Bright Lance. Having said that, I still would rather pay just the 90 points for the unit, because I think if you add a heavy weapons platform and a Bright Lance, you're then talking 110, yeah, 120 points if you add a Bright Lance, which is not the worst, and then yeah, it's 110 if you want it with a Shuriken Cannon, and 115 if you want it with a Star Cannon. As I say, I wouldn't really consider the other options. Those are the ones I would go with. But so the cheapest, you could go cheaper with Storm Guardians or Rangers, or in fact Void Reavers, Corsair Void Reavers. Yeah, if you took a unit of 5, those would be cheaper as well. That's actually the cheapest troops choice you can take. But for me, I'm happy with my Guardians. I think they do a job. Their shooting is solid. It's less good now against things like Marines, but against other sort of 90-point units in the game, similar, you know, if you come up against Gaunts, they're going to chew through them. Even if you come up against Necron Warriors, they will do a job. They've got to get in close, but they will do a job against them. If they get shot back, they will die. But their firepower is quite good. So that's kind of how I like to play them. I've done no conversion work on my Guardian Defenders. I have painted a couple with some jazzy hair, which I enjoyed doing, but that's kind of where I stand with them. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this unit focus. If you've got any comments on things you'd like to see us do differently, focus on different things in the future in these, please comment below. And yeah, as you say, if you've liked this, please hit that like and subscribe button. Anyway, we'll see you next time.